right, scholars, I want to take us back to that week where we were practicing converting time. More specifically, we practiced converting hours to minutes, and one great way that we agreed would help us in organizing our work and keeping track of our conversions was to create a table. So I'm going to go ahead and label my table. So I want to convert hours to minutes, and I'm going to start with the very basic because this is going to help us create then our table. So I'm going to start with 1 hour. We know that 1 hour is also equal to 60 minutes. And so when I'm thinking about, okay, if 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, well, what about 2 hours then? Well, notice here that I've doubled my hours, so I'm going to think about that when I'm looking at my minutes. I'm going to double my minutes. And when I'm doubling my minutes, I know that double means 2. So I'm going to have 2 groups of 60. 1 hour has passed. 2 hours have passed. Now, if I think of 2 groups of 60, I think some of you may have already guessed, we can also use that as a multiplication equation, 2 groups of 60. Now I have 2 different equations that I can solve this. I'm going to focus on multiplication over here. Here we have 2 groups of 60, but what do we know when we're multiplying a whole number by a tenth? I know that we can append the 0. So I'm going to start first with, well, what is just 6 times 2, or 2 groups of 6? 6 times 2 would give me 12, but don't forget, remember, we're adding back, we need to put back that value of 10. So then we'd have 12 multiplied by 10, and so once again, we know that we can append the 0. So 2 groups of 60 would give me 120. There we go. So I'm going to plug that in to my table. Right now I've converted 2 hours into 120 minutes. Well, let's try 3 hours. Now I have 3 groups of 60. So once again, that should be easy. 3 groups of 60. You should already be thinking about multiplying. And we can also use another strategy or another equation, We have 3 groups of 60. 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. Well, let's try what we did here. We have 3 groups of 60. Remember, when we're multiplying by a group of tens, I know that I can first focus on my ones. 6 times 3 would be 18, but I have to add that value of 10 back into the equation. So I need to multiply 18 times 10 would give me, 100. Let me write that again, 180. So 60 times 3 is 180, or 3 groups of 60 would be 180, and I'm going to go ahead and plug that in here. And I can keep going using the same equations, thinking about groups of. I want you guys to continue this work and try this work with the activity below.